Thank you, Bettina. You did a great job, and every one of you from on the panel. It was a terrific discussion, and I thought the first day was great, but I think the second day was even better. You guys are really, getting into the meat of many of the challenges for chronic diseases and drug development in general. Just to sort of, take my own takeaways in this discussion today. I mean, first of all, we started off with a very powerful patient perspective, how we really need to take patient perspective as our, guiding star for a lot of our drug discovery and development programs. And then we certainly had a lot of discussion about both the employer perspective and payer perspective in terms of the economics of pharmacy benefits and drug costs, and how we might want to think about ways to improve that for chronic diseases, especially the cost to benefit ratio of that. I think in the afternoon, there was a lot of discussion about, how we might think about patient-oriented or patient-centered designs, particularly, Karen and Michelle talked a lot about how we need to think about the patient and their perspectives and their engagements in all of our clinical trials. And I was very sort of excited to hear from Jim that they are thinking about different trial designs at the FDA. I was particularly intrigued by the disseminated clinical trial concept, as will we need a lot more pragmatic trial concepts as well for chronic diseases. The last session was really very interesting in terms of how do we use technologies and how can we begin to use technologies as part of our drug discovery and development for chronic diseases. And of course, this has been particularly hastened by COVID. Even in our clinical practices, we have the amount of telemedicine now is almost tripled over the last 12 months ago. So this, it's another thing that we should be thinking about with clinical trials, in addition to monitoring even virtual visits, as some of you have touched on. So I think we have a terrific set of concepts to go on. We will have our third and final session of the workshop on March 8th. And that'll be focused on case studies showing, successful examples and unique models that are emerging, partly due to COVID, but partly due to the need for innovation in this disease discovery phase. So thank you again, and I want to thank all of the participants and certainly all of the speakers who did a phenomenal job. I want to thank the forum, the planning committee, as well as the National Academies for supporting this workshop. Thank you all for attending this, and see you next week.